What your cat's tail position actually means. Extended. Your cat has been talking to you this entire time, and you've probably missed almost every word. Not with meows, not with purrs, but with something far more constant and far more honest. Their tail. Long before a cat ever makes a sound, before they even decide whether to approach you or walk away, their tail is already broadcasting exactly how they feel in real time, whether they mean to show you or not. Cats are, by nature, far more subtle communicators than dogs, and their tail is arguably the single most reliable window into what's actually happening in their mind at any given moment. Today, we're decoding it, position by position, so you can finally understand what your cat has been trying to tell you the whole time. Welcome back to Mindful Meow, the channel dedicated to understanding what's really going on inside your cat's mind. By the end of this video, you'll never look at your cat curled up on the couch the same way again. Let's get into it. Let's start with the tail held straight up, standing tall like a flagpole, often with just the tip gently curled or twitching. This is one of the clearest, most universally understood signals in feline body language, and it means almost the exact opposite of what people assume when they first see it. A high, upright tail is a sign of confidence, contentment, and friendliness. It's the feline equivalent of a warm greeting, extended to someone they trust. Kittens do this instinctively toward their mothers from a very young age, using the upright tail as a signal of recognition and safety. And adult cats carry that exact same signal into adulthood, using it specifically toward people and other animals they feel genuinely safe and comfortable around. If your cat greets you at the door with their tail standing tall, that's not a coincidence. It's a direct, learned signal of trust. Now compare that to a tail that's puffed up like a bottle brush, a reaction scientifically known as piloerection. This isn't really about mood in the way the upright tail is. It's fundamentally about size and self-defense. When a cat feels genuinely threatened or startled, tiny muscles at the base of each individual hair contract almost instantly, making the tail appear 2 or 3 times its normal width in a fraction of a second. It's an automatic, involuntary response, not a conscious choice, designed purely to make the cat appear larger and more intimidating to a potential threat. You'll typically see this reaction triggered by a strange dog suddenly appearing, a loud, unexpected noise like a vacuum cleaner, or another cat aggressively encroaching on territory your cat considers their own. A tail tucked low and wrapped tightly around the body tells an almost opposite story to both of the signals above. This posture signals insecurity, fear, or submission, a cat actively trying to make themselves smaller, less visible, and less likely to draw attention, rather than larger and more threatening. You'll often see this specific posture in unfamiliar environments, during a visit to the vet, or around unfamiliar people in loud gatherings, and it's usually paired with flattened ears pinned back against the skull and a lowered, crouched body position, forming a complete, unmistakable picture of a cat who is deeply uncomfortable and actively trying to disappear from the situation entirely. Then there's the slow, deliberate side-to-side swish, frequently mistaken by new cat owners as a sign of playfulness or happiness, similar to how a dog wags its tail when excited. In reality, it's almost the opposite signal entirely. A slow, controlled swish typically signals focus and irritation building steadily beneath the surface, often appearing right before a cat swats, bites, or completely disengages from a petting session that has gone on slightly longer than they wanted. The speed and intensity matter enormously here. The faster, harder, and more aggressive the swish becomes, the closer that cat is to actually reacting. And it's one of the most commonly missed warning signs among first-time cat owners who assume a moving tail must mean a happy cat. A tail that's quivering or vibrating rapidly, especially while held upright and rigid, tells a very different story from all of the signals we've covered so far. This particular motion is most commonly associated with intense excitement or anticipation, frequently seen the moment a cat spots their owner walking through the front door after being away, or right before an anticipated feeding time. Some animal behaviorists believe this may be an evolutionary remnant of a much stronger scent-marking behavior seen in wild and feral cats, since some cats will quiver their tail while simultaneously engaging in light spray-marking behavior. That said, the vast majority of house cats only ever display the quiver itself, completely disconnected from any actual marking behavior, simply as a pure, involuntary expression of overwhelming excitement. The question mark tail, held upright but curved distinctly at the tip, forming a visible hook shape, is one of the more specific and frequently overlooked signals in a cat's entire repertoire. This particular shape usually indicates playful curiosity, describing a cat that is alert, engaged, and genuinely open to interaction, but not yet fully committed to it either way. It's frequently seen when a cat is investigating something new and slightly uncertain, like an unfamiliar object left on the floor, a grocery bag rustling in the kitchen, or a visitor sitting quietly and unfamiliar in the living room, effectively testing the situation before deciding exactly how to respond. A low, horizontal tail held level with the ground, neither raised toward the sky nor tucked defensively underneath the body, generally signals a calm, neutral, and fully relaxed emotional state. This is, statistically, the tail position you'll observe most often during completely ordinary daily activity, walking casually through the house, exploring a familiar room, or simply going about an unremarkable day without any particular emotional intensity attached to the moment at all. It's the feline equivalent of a resting heart rate, the default state a cat returns to once nothing exciting, threatening, or interesting is currently happening around them. Rapid, hard thumping of the tail against the floor or furniture is one of the most misunderstood signals of all, often confused by owners with the much gentler side-to-side swish we covered earlier. This is a considerably more intense, unmistakable warning sign, typically indicating significant agitation, overstimulation, or genuine frustration, and it's usually the final, clearest signal a cat gives before either disengaging from the interaction entirely or reacting defensively with a bite or a swat. If you see this specific motion while petting your cat, especially paired with tensed muscles along their back, it's almost always time to stop the interaction immediately and give them space. There's also the low, gentle wag, distinct from the aggressive swish, often seen while a cat is intensely focused on prey, whether that's an actual mouse, a bird outside a window, or simply a laser pointer dancing across the carpet. This subtle motion reflects deep concentration and building predatory instinct rather than irritation, and it's frequently followed immediately by a sudden pounce, making it one of the more predictable signals in a cat's entire body language vocabulary, if you know to watch for it in the moments just before they strike. And finally, a completely still, motionless tail, held in a neutral position without any movement at all, can actually be one of the more ambiguous signals a cat displays, and context becomes essential to reading it correctly. In some cases, complete stillness reflects intense focus, particularly during a hunting sequence in the split second before a pounce. In other cases, that same stillness can indicate a cat who is simply deeply relaxed to the point of near sleep, or occasionally, a cat who is feeling cautious and is deliberately minimizing all outward signals while they assess an unfamiliar situation before committing to any visible reaction at all. So the next time your cat curls their tail into a question mark while investigating your grocery bags, thumps it hard against the couch mid-pet, or quivers it excitedly the second you walk through the front door, remember, none of it is random. It's a complete, consistent language your cat has been fluently speaking their entire life, one that most owners simply never took the time to learn how to read. Understanding it doesn't just satisfy curiosity, it genuinely changes how you interact with your cat day to day, helping you know exactly when to lean in for affection and exactly when to give them the space they're clearly asking for. If this video helped you finally understand what your cat's tail has been telling you all along, let us know in the comments which position your own cat does most often and whether it matched what you expected. And don't forget to subscribe to Mindful Meow, because next time, we're decoding exactly what your cat's ears are trying to tell you and why they can rotate almost independently of each other.